Okay, let's begin. Shemiras Shabbos Kehilchasai Sif Yud Zayin. We learned Yud Zayin yesterday, which was watermelon. Watermelon. We learned yesterday that when you eat watermelon, you put it in your mouth and you spit out the pits. And there is no chashash beira. If you don't want to do that, you're allowed to shake out the pits. We have to do it samach la'achila. But Shirley Garinim Shnisha Tvuke Bepri, let's say there's still some stock. Hanoyeg lahakel, one who is making l'tiyah mibasar avtiach, yesh loy almi lismoich. There is what to be seimich on, but v'ushiyase kein samach lachilasai. Ulinin asaras kliba avtiach, to remove the peel. See further. So in Sivkot Lamedalit over here, he just points out that if you want to take out the actual seed from the flesh of the watermelon, yesh al mi lismoich. So in Lamedalit he points out that this is adif from the bones that we saw prior. Because by the bones, I'm reading Lamedalit. Tahasam efshel ahachzik biyad achas esal idra. Could hold the bone of the fish with one hand. V'lo biyado hashenit yimshaych esaychel. You can pull off the food. Masha enkin ba'avatiach. You can't. You cannot hold the seed and pull off the watermelon. Doesn't work. She'ev shalasa is keen. V'adin sarich lahachnas atachpekol chatichal garinel, to put every piece in your mouth. Ein zem miderech eichlin. Some people don't like to do that. Mikivan shegam bedagam anal, and since we saw by fish there are many meitirim, therefore yesh lahakal. So it's a fascinating kula. Ukein zem atzinu shabbat liklev beyo banana. Now, the next line is important. Before we get to the next line, which is going to really set the stage for the coming sifim, he just said that there's a makkah to make. I'll take out the seeds. Now, I think he's going to eventually get to what about for kids? But that's really going to be the makkah to be made. Let's say you want to give a little kid a watermelon and you're nervous to give him with the things. You're right. You can just cut the piece of the watermelon and not worry about it. But let's say in his plate, there's a little piece of watermelon with a seed. There would be a makkah to be mako to take out the seed. Now, this footnote Lamadal continues with an incredibly important line. Ukein zamotzinu shemuter likleif beya. You let it peel an egg, or a banana, or a banana. Af al gav shaya efsher, even though it was possible to cut it in half. It's a hard-boiled egg, don't be nervous. To cut it in half, and take the food out of the shell. He just asked $1 million question. Are you let it peel a banana on Shabbos? Answer is yeah. Why let it peel a banana on Shabbos? You're taking pseilis from Eichel, taking bad from good. So what's the heter? Says the Beralacha, says Mishtabura, it's the derech achila. And the law of the Mishtabura is I efshel le'echol belav hachi. You can't eat it without that. Frekter Shemiras Shabbos. What do you mean? Yes, you could. Cut the banana in half and scoop out the banana. It sounds odd. Many things you do sound odd if you never did them. Maybe that's what you have to do. He says, no, you don't have to do that. Why? V'hainu mishom shederech achilasoi al yedei kililuf. He's touching up the words of the Mishnah-Berurah, when the Mishnah-Berurah says, Efshar, don't read Efshar literally, that it's impossible, and therefore if it's possible, you have to do what's possible. No! What the Mishnah-Berurah means, and he's saying a massive art over here, the Mishnah-Berurah means that the norm is to eat that way, then that is what you're allowed to do.
It's possible to do it in another normal way. This is the
only normal way to do it. Very good. Now, the way you just said it was a little teisefes, which we might debate upon in a moment, but let's get there. And now he's explaining similarly with the watermelon that for you, the only way to do it is to pluck out the pit. Ulai yesh makam lahakal. And now we go to Sif Yud Ches, which is pits. Ha'echal pri galini. So if you don't know what that is, what do? You go to the index and you look at galini and you see it says the word pit. How do I know? Because I looked in the back. Very good. That the flesh is connected to the seed. Kigoin. Shizif oy afrisik. Anyone knows what those fruits are? Apricot or a peach. Very good. So these are fruits that the pit in the center is stuck to the fruit. That's what he's saying over here. So you have a fruit that the pit is stuck. So what do you do right now? Says the Shemiras Shabbos, Yesh matirim lahaser biyad es hagalin mi basar pri. Some allow you, and you have to realize in Israeli culture, this is a big deal. Because the apricot pits are a commodity. They are trading. It's not a joke. These are trading items. Children save them. They give them over to younger siblings when they grow out of them. It's a real thing. Unfortunately, my boys were never zeich lekach. My boys were too young to get to that stage in life. But it is a real thing. Says the that's not why he's being makel. That's just stop. Don't get nervous. Says it. We're in America, so we don't have to play with them. The Chabdei wanted to know if we're allowed to. Very good. You're allowed to remove the pit with your hands. But if the pre is separate from the pit, shisak, you know what that is. Listen to this one. Open up the pre, which is interesting. We actually call it open up. It's actually very fascinating. If you ever, crack open the, I don't remember which one it is, apricot, which is one that you could crack in half. No one knows what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Apricot? Yeah, that's also why, or that's just the way you eat it. Yeah, you pop it in half, then you pull out the pit. The one that you cracked the whole thing in half. Yeah, it's an apricot. I'm not Chavro. This is an apricot. Chavro. That's an apricot. That's an apricot. That's an apricot. Shalom Aleichem. Not a dry. I know it's Tu B'Shvat. That's an apricot. Okay, and we all know what an apricot is. So the way you eat this, is you crack it in half and you pull out the pit. Good. Are we clear? You've never eaten an apricot in your life. You just admitted that on camera. 3, 4. Everyone decide for you. Okay, we'll have apricots in Shemiras Shabbos, but the way apricots work is you crack in half. I'll just point out that the terminology used is open up. That's just the way you use it. It's called liftach. Anyways, we got sidetracked. I apologize. Where are we? Mutter liftach is a pri ba'ifin sha'galin yipol me'elav. It falls out on its own. Oi lahachzik bi'arechad bigalin. And now with this beautiful picture, you can appreciate this more. Yeah, Chevra, you have this big pit in the center. So what do? So you have 2 ways of doing it. Either what you could do is you could hold the pit and pull away the hold the pit and pull away the fruit, or you can just pull out the pit. So this is a similar shayla to what we saw by the watermelon. Are you allowed to take out the pre straight? To even remove the pit from the basar, but you should do it samach lachila mamish v'loy lifnei kain. And you could understand, this goes back to what you said before, is this called a normal way of doing it? That's really going to be the discussion. I'm going to bring this out to a case that maybe is more regular for everyone in this room. It's called an avocado. How do you remove the pit from an avocado? So, very good. Chefs like Rabbi Goldberg, what they do is you take your very sharp knife that you just finished slicing your hand open the night before, and you slap down like you just did onto the pit. Don't hold avocado. No, don't do that. Just slap it down like they do in the shows. You're like this. Look at that. You got to pit anything. Yeah, Shalom Aleichem. Let's see someone that makes it work. But that would be just pulling out the pit. Are you allowed to do that? Or do we say, no, you have a normal way to eat the fruit without it, you're not allowed to do it? That's the different shitas that he's bringing over here. He's bringing that there are those who are machmir. Now, in the footnote over here, the star, he points out that it's not royal achilas adam, not even achilas behema, which is not true by the avocado, which we all know, obviously. Yes, avocado pit has the most nutrients in the whole item. It is certainly royal achila. People blend them up, and it's a delicacy in nutritionists' lives. Mutter it doesn't make, but it's not a chafsa muksa. People eat it. Mutter letaltlai b'shash mesir min apri. As you're removing, you're allowed to move it. Oisha mesir min apeh, or it's taking it out of your mouth, even when there's no fruit on it. But when you move from the brie, it is a muksa. So it's one of these interesting muksa type of cases that when you put it in your hand, it's not muksa, then it becomes muksa. The point is, you have to discard of it right away. Let's go into Sif Yod Test. That was pits. I hope that is clear. Stop. By the way, there's other cases. Honeydews. Yeah, honeydew you cut in half and you have all the pits. What's that? Honeydew. Oh, that's the shayla. Is that enough of a derech to say the way that he's learning? Do we say that and therefore you can remove the pit? Yeah. That's the shaila. And you see, in Tif Yud Ches, he brought down multiple levels. That's the chayah what it's all. And if you want to know the halach lemaisa, there definitely is a makom to be makel to pull out the pit straight in the avocado and in the apricot. I was just pointing out, in honeydew, you have a very similar shaila. You cut the honeydew in half, and you have all those pits and all the juice junk type stuff in there, whatever you call them. I'm sure there's a fancy name. Please don't tell me. So are you allowed to take a spoon and scoop out all that garbage? That is the definition of garbage, is that juice with the... Oh, or do you have to do that? The problem is, as your chavrush just showed you crazy face, we all know that's the sweetest part of the honeydew. So if you take the spoon and you scrape out the walls, you could be, you're saying, which is we're going to get to, if you test, you always have a little bit, maybe, but that's going to be the shayla. That's about to get to your test. But that's going to be the shayla. Do we see that's the derech achila? So you are allowed. Sif your test. Here we go. Charak. What's a charak? Charakim are... You can flip to the back. I'll wait. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm going to wait just because no one knows what it is.
Simple. So you look.
A bug, very good. It's also germs and disease are charakim. Beware. I think it's yeah. The whole sefer is written in Charakim shenavel l'teichatav shaloim hashke aser la'asirei levad. Yes, he doesn't write like zuvov, like lashon mishmur. Although in the footnotes he sometimes does, which we're not going to get to today because we're giving any sidetracked. Charak shenavel l'teichatav shaloim hashke aser la'asirei levad. You're not allowed to take out the bug. We're about to have a yomtiv in the footnote in a moment, but Chaver, don't look there. Let's just get it clear. Now, obviously, you had to look there, and now you don't know how to stop. Okay, fine, very good. So don't pay attention. Biyad oibe kli. You can get rid of the bug with your hand or with a kli. You also not allowed to blow it off. In the footnote over here, he declares whether blowing is called a maisa, a brayer or not. Interesting raid. Pouring out a little bit of the mashke. To remove a little bit of the food. Even if you're not going to eat it right now. So we're going to have to stop here. In the footnote over here in Star, he says, by the way, if your soup is yad sheledis boy, don't use a regular spoon to remove the bug, because then you have a tarfus issue, because your bug is cooking inside a little bit of soup, and it's going to be mavliya into your spoon and chafe up your spoon. Okay, that's not a point for now. But the point over here is just to mention, why are you allowed to do it even if you're not going to eat it right now? Why are you allowed to do it even if you're not going to eat it right now? That's a good question. We have to get there. We'll show you. Why are you allowed to do it even if you're not going to eat it right now? Yeah. He says you're allowed to take out the bug with a little bit of soup. Good. So the answer is, in Lumdish, just understand, when you take out the psilus, a little bit of eichel, the way to view it is you're making a mini tarayves. If this bowl of soup is soup with bug, and I take now a spoonful of soup with bug, that's just a mini bowl. So I didn't do boirer, that's why it's mutter. And that's the way you always should do it. You should never take it out with one little dot. That's where the machlik is chazinish mishtabura, where that works. Ayin sham the footnotes, b'siyat ishmai. So again, the bug you could remove as long as you take it out with a little bit of food, and you always have sufficient food so as you don't get into a shayla.